Welcome to Wholesale Hardknocks. This podcast was created by me and Daryll squatting up together and doing badass shit. And we want y'all to do the same. So most importantly, squat up in the comments and do deals together. And then like the video, subscribe to the channels. Yo, Daryll, take them away, big dog.
It's about community building. Join the community, reach out, squat up, join the campfire, baby.
Woo! Episode 47, baby. We back. Welcome to Wholesale Hardknocks, where me and your favorite host, Mike Gomes, go live every single Wednesday to drop that real sauce on wholesale and real estate. All right, and today's a fun conversation. Today we're actually talking about keys and things that we've learned over the past year and a half building a sales team. All right, and some tips that you may want to know if you're building a sales team yourself. Mike, what's going on, brother? How's your week,
man? Bro? Sales is my favorite topic. Let's hold on. What the heck is going on with my? Oh man, my alarm isn't working, dog. No, let's see. Nope. Anyways, I was gonna set the alarm off. But sales is literally one of my favorite subjects. It is the skill that took me off in this industry. It's a skill that I really honed in on. I gave my life to for like 6 months straight, got killer at it. And it's what took me off in this industry. And then what happened from there is I literally took the skills that I had and all the knowledge that I had, and then I took it, implemented it with a team, grew a team. And now I don't have to call sellers for the whole entire day, every single day. I have a team that does that. So me and Daryll are in very similar points in our business. We're going to explain exactly where we both started, how we are at where we are at right now, and how we got to that point. And then we'll sum it up with like the top 5 actionable steps that you guys can do to grow from maybe if you're just a single man team right now to maybe like a 5 to 10 man sales team. So Daryll, go over like where you started. What did Daryl's wholesale business look like in the beginning?
Bro, when I started, I was a one-man band. Like on the phones, I had an integrator that was sending me leads, right? But I was making the calls, I was doing the follow-ups, I was closing the deals, I was missing a lot of follow-ups because it was just me, right? So I was doing the TC also, like closing, getting the contracts and everything. And it just got to the point where I'm like, bro, I cannot possibly keep doing this and stay sane. Like it makes no sense, and still get deals, because that's when it becomes, as everybody knows, the wholesale hamster wheel, right? When you're just constantly, okay, I get a contract, now I got to open up escrow, and I got to find a buyer, then now who's making calls, right? We talk about it all the time on this show, bro, where that wholesale hamster wheel, it kills people. And I was stuck in that wholesale hamster wheel because I didn't want to delegate, because just like you, bro, sales, I love sales. I fell in love with sales. So I'm like, if I'm gonna delegate anything, sales is gonna be last, right? Because that was my baby. I didn't want nobody to come in and mess up these leads. But then it got to a point where I was getting so many leads where I just couldn't follow up. Like I couldn't follow up with everybody. And we all know the fortune is in the follow-up, the money's in the follow-up. So if I have all these leads and all these people, I was doing a JV model as well. So a bunch of people trusting me to close their leads for them. And I'm saying, yeah, I can close your deals. Now, if I didn't close it on the first call, good chances where I wasn't going to follow up because I was on go. Like I had so many leads coming in. And then it came to a point where my partner was like, bro, you need to clone yourself. You need multiple people in those seats who can make these calls for you, because you're not making the calls.
Okay, right? So you had lead gen pretty much outsourced already from the jump.
Yeah. Lead gen.
So you really never focused ever on generating leads.
Bro, people ask me how to generate leads. People ask me like list pulling questions. I pulled one list ever in my life. I have no clue how to pull a list, bro. Like no clue how to skip trace, how to sort list, like stack list. I'm not doing any of that shit.
I wish I could say the same, because I spent a lot of my time in the beginning trying to build out my lead gen, because I literally thought that leads is what gets you deals. Now, obviously, you cannot get deals without leads, but I literally thought the lifeline of the business was me generating leads direct to seller. I was so one track minded. I'm just like, if all I do is generate leads, I'm going to be fine. Let me figure out how to generate leads. And I literally wrecked my brain for like 7 months straight on figuring out how to build a system that would generate leads repetitively.
To that point though, bro, that is some people do make a lot of money doing that, but that just wasn't Mike's personality type.
Mm-hmm. Because it's a whole business in itself. So I was growing a lead gen business rather than what I should have been doing is growing a sales business, because they're two completely different departments. But you're a genius, much more smarter than I am, and you ended up just outsourcing your leads in the beginning and focused on sales completely, right? So talk about, so just so everybody has an understanding, Daryll did not generate leads in the beginning. He did not go out and get virtual assistants to generate leads at all. He had people sending him leads. So he outsourced that and he said, hey, if you send me some leads, I'm going to get you a cut on these deals. So all Daryll had to focus on was calling these leads every single day and getting them under contract and then doing all the things after that.
Yep. And we still do that, by the way. If y'all want to know how, hit me up in my DMs. We could figure out how we could work together. But yeah, so that's what it was, right? And we're like, I had no money at the time, right? So it's like I had no choice but to make it happen, right? Like they say, rule number one of entrepreneurship is do it with what you got. And I knew how to talk to people. That's what I had. You know what I'm saying? So I was able to get people to send me leads and able to get them to see the vision, right? Like you send me these leads, I close the deals, we all eat, right? You focus on what you're good at, I focus on what I'm good at, and we make it happen, you know? And once it got to the point where I had too many people sending leads, right? That's what I'm saying. Like I had to start bringing people onto my team. Now, one of the things that I learned early, super early, is it's almost like kids, like having kids, right? So like kids, how they look up and they learn everything from the parent, right? So like if the parent is complaining, like, why is my kid doing this? Why is my kid doing this? They probably learned it from you, right? They probably seen you doing something. So when I started to bring my team on, I started to have people making calls for me. I was like, man, why the hell are these people not following up? Why are they not leaving notes? Why is this happening? And it's because they seen from me, from what I was doing, that I was still jumping on calls and I wasn't following up, or I wouldn't leave notes, you know, because that's how I was. Like I'm not. It's just a different mindset. You know what I mean? It's just a different mindset where I'm just on to the next call. And when you're trying to run a business, when you're trying to start a business, you can't have everybody operating how you would potentially operate, right? You need to have systems in place. You need to have video SOPs in place. You need to have step by step. This is what you need to do on each step, so everything can be done the right way, right? So that was big. That was big. Like, I'm actually just now catching on to that. Like, I actually just caught on to that probably about a few months back as I'm doing all these SOPs and stuff like that. And I let go of a lot of the people who were on my team who just started that over the year ago, right? Like nobody is on my team really who started with me a year ago now. And when they left, I realized I totally set them up for failure because I just didn't have anything in place, right? Like now when somebody joins my team, they have an onboarding package, right? I don't really need to teach them anything because everything is in this file that I just sent to them. I send them an email and now they know how to use the system. They know how to underwrite deals. They know how to comp deals. They know they go through our sales training, right? And everything is automated now, right? Mm-hmm. And now if they don't succeed, it's because they're not putting, not because they don't know something.
But here's what it is, bro. You reap what you sow. Right. So if you are the guy showing your team, you know, hey, here's what I do on my day to day, and you were trying to like fulfill an acquisition manager role and you're showing them the wrong things, like you're showing them that you don't follow up. You show them that you're being lazy with your notes and all these things. You are going to sow that at some point. That is going to sow. So you reap what you sow. Whatever you put into the universe is going to come back to you. So if you're showing your people that, that's exactly what is going to happen to you.
Exactly.
No excuse when you're sitting there like, dang, what the heck? Why aren't my team members doing the thing? So it's very important while you're building your team that whenever your team has eyeballs on you, whether it's them listening to one of your calls, you're sharing your screen and you're showing them how to do the business, like do it exactly how you would want them to do it. Don't take shortcuts. Don't do anything like that, because it's monkey see, monkey do, and then you reap what you sow. You're going to get the same exact thing back. So Daryll, you had this business where you already had lead gen off your plate.
Yeah, so we already have lead. What'd you say?
You didn't have to do any lead gen, and you were the one calling everybody. But then what happened is, so you're calling everybody right here, right? So let's call this lead gen. Okay, that's one whole department. And then let's call this sales. That's a whole nother department. Daryll didn't have to do any of this. But then what happens with sales is you have all these hats that you got to fulfill. Okay. And all these hats are like follow up. It is systems and processes. It's, closing. It's underwriting. It's transaction coordinating. It's doing a bunch of different things. Daryll, what I was just saying, did you catch that?
My fault, bro. My fault.
Nah, you're good.
Some of it. My bad.
You're good. So what I was saying, is this backwards, by the way?
Low key.
All right. Anyways, this is lead gen. This is sales, right? You didn't have to worry about lead gen at all.
Actually, it's not backwards. My bad. You're good. You're good.
That's a whole different business in itself.
Mm-hmm.
All you had to worry about was sales. And what I put under here is these little hats, right? And these little hats are things like transaction coordinating, following up, underwriting, closing, all the different things that you had to do. You have to make sure that these hats are fulfilled every single day. And what Daryll was doing is he's like, I'm smart. I'm taking this off my plate. But now I have this sales department that I got to run. And I got to make sure that I'm following up, closing, doing transaction coordinating, underwriting, doing all the things. And that's what you're doing in the beginning, right?
Yep, exactly.
Okay, and then what happened from there?
And then we did some deals, right? So like I delegated. I had a team. I ended up having a team of, we scaled really fast, right? Like I had lead managers and then I have closers, right? So it got to a point where I had like 9 people on my team, like 9 or 10 people on my team, like on the acquisitions team, and it was just too many for me at one point, and we weren't closing deals, right? There were a couple people closing deals, but not everybody was closing deals. I was feeling drained a lot of the time because I was doing the sales training every day just for people to not make calls, right? And there was only a few people making calls, and we just had a lot of dead weight. And we did that for a while, right? We had that for a while, just continued to have a big team like that until I realized that having a big team, bigger is not always better, right? Bigger does not always mean better. And I had to find my sweet spot of the amount of closers and lead managers that I want on my team. And it was just about doing the little things, right? That nobody really, a lot of people don't really talk about, right? It's not sexy, it's not fun, but it's the things like the core values, right? Having the core values and hiring the right people, going through different interview processes and making sure that people that on your team are only full-time, right? They have a schedule, a full-time schedule, right? You have set KPIs to where they're going to hit this KPI. And if they don't hit the KPI, they know what the repercussions are. Right. So it's important.
Here's why I think that you might have struggled with it. And I say this because I literally did the same exact thing. When I was wearing all the hats here, I was like, I want to be the same exact thing as what Daryll was talking about. I want to scale. I want multiple people on my team. I don't want to have to do the transaction coordinating, follow up, closing. I want to outsource this stuff ASAP. Yeah. But here's the thing, Daryll. When I was fulfilling all these hats, I was making money.
Facts.
I was closing deals. Okay. The
Facts.
problem is I didn't really have any consistency. Like I didn't know, hey, I'm gonna pump this much money into my lead gen and I'm gonna get this many deals. All I knew is I'm hustling. I'm doing whatever it takes. I'm getting in the office every single day. I'm following up with every single lead possible. I'm talking to every buyer. I'm doing literally any and everything that I could do, working like crazy, working crazy hours. But at the end of the day, I'm a hustler. So I started making money. I started getting contracts. Right. The problem is that is me. That is me, the business owner, right? The business owner is super hungry. Well, they probably should be, right? And for me, like I said, I'm a hustler. I'm somebody that's going to get it done no matter what.
Regardless, you're gonna make it happen.
Exactly. Most of your team members are not going to be that exactly. And for me, actually, for most people, that is not sustainable.
No.
You might be able to do that. I might have been able to stick it out for another 6 months. Then I would have been like, all right, this is not worth it. I'd rather just go work a freaking job because I'm working like 16-hour days, making $20,000 a month or something with these wholesale fees. It's freaking great, but I'm absolutely killing myself. I'd rather just go work a job. Okay, so just like Daryll, I started hiring all these people out with the mentality of me, thinking that people needed to fill these hats up how I would fill them up. How I filled up all the hats by myself. That's not going to happen. So Daryll, once you hired this like 9-person team and you figured out, dang, these people aren't working the way that I want to work, what happened?
We had to have some tough conversations. Bro, and people had to get let go. And I ended up letting go. And this is like jumping through a bunch of things. All right, but I had to really start fresh and let everybody go. Like I had to draw the line in the sand with my team one day. And I came into the meeting and I was like, guys, I understand what the old team looked like, but from today moving forward, this is what it means to be a part of this team. And we laid out our core values. We talked about everything. We talked about their expectations moving forward, and we talked about what happens. I told them, if you do not hit your KPIs moving forward, I don't care how long you've been on this team. If you do not hit your numbers, you're telling me that you don't want to be a part of this team, and we'll address that accordingly, right? And everybody knows what's up. And if the numbers aren't met, we have a meeting, right? And all this is an upfront contract. It's an upfront agreement, right? And I preach, it's a team effort, right? Like we need to work together and help each other accomplish these goals, because I want to make sure that they see the vision, they see the big picture, and they're best equipped to close as many deals as possible and make as much money as possible, right? And I realized that I needed to work on my leadership skills a lot, bro. Like a lot, just being a leader in general, and like I said, finding the right people, right? Like you have to know who you mesh with, right? Because when you're building a team, it's important to have people, different personality types that you can actually talk with, right? Like I've had people on my team who they like I'll say some shit just you know me, right, Mike? I'll just say some shit sometime. Like I'll say, I don't know, I'll just say something, right? Like that just, it may offend some people, right? And
Daryl's a wild boy.
Sometimes, right? But not all the time. And I said something one time and it offended somebody on the team, and she quit because of some words, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, damn, that's crazy. Right. And it's on me for not paying attention to that, right? Like paying attention to the different personality types of people that come on, right? And now I look for a certain type of person that I want to bring onto the team, right? So it's very sacred, honestly, like bringing somebody. I don't just bring anybody onto the team anymore. That's what I used to do. Now it's like we go through different interview processes. You take a personality test. I think one thing, Mike, that people mess up is they don't treat this like a business.
Mm-hmm.
They treat this like a hobby. And once you like separate this and you treat this wholesaling like an actual,
like your baby, bro.
Yeah.
Would you have any bonehead watching your baby?
Hell no.
taking care of your baby, feeding your baby, watching them while they're playing with their toys?
Not at all. Never.
Hmm. So that's really what it is. You want to make sure you got the right people in the right seats.
For sure.
Sometimes you got to analyze those people on how they would treat a baby, right? And that's part of the interviewing process. And that's part of the onboarding process that Daryll was talking about. That takes them through a process where it's like, hey, how are you going to treat my baby?
Yep.
Right? How have you treated other people's babies? Why are you even coming to me for an opportunity right now? Like, what has happened in your past? So what happened? How did you end up getting to the point where you got your team to start consistently closing deals and everybody was on the same page?
Bro, it all started. It's just with the systems, right? Setting the system up, like thinking about like just how like McDonald's, right? Like how when somebody joins McDonald's, it's everything is already laid out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the uniform, they get their uniform, they know how to say something. Like look at Chick-fil-A, for instance, like all these restaurants, right? Like it's like they take it serious, right? Like it's when you get onboarded onto the team, you have trainings, you make sure you're doing this the right way, right? And you actually, it takes time. I actually had to take a month, 2 months to get every single system the way I want it to be. I had it laid out, right? So if you look, if when somebody joins my team, we have SOPs or standard operating procedures where from the time they log in every single day to the time they log out every single day, it's a step-by-step process. And then a video on top of that shows them exactly how to do what we're talking about in the document.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We have sales training. We have just Loom video on Loom video. We have follow-up schedules, right? Like, and we have set schedules for everybody. We have sales training every single day, right? So now it's just a structure, right? Like I'm actually taking this super serious and it's very structured. I'm not just winging it now. You know, like I'm actually intentional about joining the team, having meetings 3 times a week, right? Like meetings where we're talking about deals, high priority deals, things we need to work on. We have one-on-one meetings every single Wednesday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's just one-on-one, me and the acquisitions person. You tell me, you can lay out anything. You can tell me whatever you got to tell me, right? Because they're one-on-one now, right? And it's everything is just structured. Like I actually had somebody on my team who was on the team for a while, and when I put everything in place, we had a meeting and we were having a conversation, and he was like, you know, ever since you started to implement these things, it's actually it's actually really good, but now this feels like a full-time job. And I was like, hold on, it didn't feel like a full-time job before? So that's the problem. And they're like, yeah, like they said, yeah, I don't think I can handle it. And I'm like, perfect. That's exactly
good.
what I wanted. That's a great thing.
Process.
It's a great thing. Right.
100%. That's really, really good. Love it. So you're saying systems processes is like one of the biggest things that really got you to so when you had a 9-man team, you got rid of a lot of people?
I got rid of everybody.
Okay. What did it look like after that? Were you closing yourself? Like, did you have to jump back in the business?
No, I kept a few closers. It ended up coming down to, it went from 9 to about 4 closers and two lead managers. And then it got down to 2 lead managers and 2 closers. 2 lead managers and 2 closers. And now we just added on a 3rd lead manager, and we're adding on a 3rd closer. I realized that 3 is my sweet spot. So like when we had 3 closers and 3 lead managers, we were closing a lot of deals every single month. And I realized like when I have 2, that's not enough. Right? Somebody go on vacation, now we only got 1. Right? But if we have 3, it's just a perfect number for us as a team.
Yeah, that's what we have actually. We have the same exact thing. 3 closers. 3 closers, 1 lead manager, and then 2 co-callers.
What did you look like starting off?
So starting off, it was me, right? Doing absolutely everything in the beginning, trying to figure it out. I was trying to figure out what the heck this thing called wholesaling is. So I thought that it was just generating leads. That's it. I thought that it was like, bro, once I find somebody who's interested in selling, I just have to go out and I got to find a bunch of people who are interested in selling. And then I know I'm going to make money in this business. And I thought it was as simple as that. Okay. Because that's what everybody told me. Just go find a deal. Go find a deal. Go find a deal. They didn't tell me exactly what finding the deal meant. I thought it just meant going out and finding somebody who's interested in selling for a
On the
particular
lead.
So I spent the first 4 months of my business trying to figure out how to generate leads. I stunk at it. And then I stumbled upon a virtual assistant. She crushed it for me. She started generating a bunch of leads for me. And there was just one. Okay. I went a month with no deals. In my brain, I'm thinking, what the heck? I come from a background where it's like fast money. You know what I'm saying? If I pour money into something this week, I should be able to get money back next week. That's what I thought.
For sure.
So I'm like month 2 into having a virtual assistant. I'm like, yo, I need like 3 of these joints. I need like 3 virtual assistants generate me leads, and then I know. So I'm just going to pour the gas on it. So I got 3 more virtual assistants, and I was managing all of them. So they were generating me leads, right? This is what I would do. I would manage the systems and processes and stuff like that in the morning. Okay. They were crushing it, bro. They were generating me a lot of leads. Like they were doing a really good job. But I was managing the data and the systems and processes and everything like that for lead gen in the morning. They would generate me leads throughout the whole entire day. And then throughout the whole entire day. So put it this way. I had like this, the lead gen over here. Very quickly, I had this like half off my plate. Okay. So they were generating me leads. They were good as, actually, I poured a lot of time and energy into them to like get them up to speed for
probably training them and
stuff like that. So I did do a lot of that, but all the systems and processes was a real thing that I had to work on. So I was doing half of this and then every single thing that you were doing.
Oh man.
On top of, so that's exactly what I was doing, right? Then I still wasn't making any money. And I scaled up even more. I scaled my lead gen even more. So I was even more busy here. So what ended up happening is I hired a coach to teach me how to do this stuff. Come to find out, this doesn't even matter. This is what matters.
Yep.
I got to figure out how to close.
Yep.
So I took all my time and energy. I said, you know what? I'm just going to keep generating leads. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing right now, but I'm going to work even harder.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm probably working like 10-hour days or something like that, 12-hour days, just focusing on my wholesale business. Okay. But now I'm going to work even harder because I know I got to understand this thing called sales. So I literally take 6 months straight and become a freaking master at sales. Like I become a killer. Like in 6 months, ain't nobody telling me nothing. I'm closing all the deals.
Yeah.
And that's all I took my time and energy on when I wasn't operating in my business. Okay. Then what happened from there is I got known as somebody who can close deals, and I started attracting people to my life. So I attracted somebody to take this completely off my plate. I attracted a business partner to completely offload the lead gen completely. I never had to think about it again.
Yep.
Okay. And then I was still in charge of all this, besides a couple things like lead follow-up, because we then had a virtual assistant come from over here and take care of lead follow-up for me.
Yep.
Actually, at this point too, I offloaded Dispo because I found out I don't need Dispo. I don't need to be the one finding the buyer. I can just go have somebody else find me the buyer. So all I was doing up to this point was following up with anybody in my own pipeline because I was the only acquisition manager, and doing the new acquisition calls from the lead manager and getting my lead manager up to speed. So I was teaching my lead manager how to like be a lead manager.
Right.
So all my time and energy, once I got good at sales, was dedicating to pouring into my lead manager even more than I already have, and following up with my leads and doing all that. And then I started consistently closing deals.
You know what's crazy? I was just watching this Alex Hermosi video, and he was talking about you can either get really good at sales, or you can get really good at, and which is still sales, is getting people to do things for you, right? Selling people on why they should do things for you, and that's pretty much running the team.
Yeah. Right.
And once you do that, it's still sales, right? So you got really, really good at sales, and then you attracted people, and you're like, hey, you should generate leads. I'll close all the freaking deals for you. Let's be partners.
Mm-hmm.
You sold them on why he should work with you, right? So like once we learn sales is I was just telling somebody, once you learn sales, you will never go broke.
That's a fact.
No reason. The only reason you'll go broke is if you just stop trying to sell something. So, right, because you have the tools. You have the tools. Everything.
The easiest thing. I tell people all the time, I could go into any industry and crush it.
Yep.
If you put me on, like, there's a car dealership probably about a mile away from where I'm at right now. If you put me on that lot, I promise you I will sell more cars than anybody on that lot.
Without a doubt.
I don't even know about cars. I'm not the car guy, bro.
That's the thing. You don't need to.
That would actually probably make me better.
Bro, I barely know about houses.
Dude, there's salespeople that have absolutely no idea about real estate.
Yo, for real. You don't need to know about real estate.
You don't.
You just need to know. You just need to understand. Like, this is all. Why is somebody looking to sell this?
You just have to understand the process, and if you understand a process, you could literally take that process into any single environment. It's the craziest thing. Once you start looking at it in your personal life, like how I'm able to influence just the people around me to make decisions. I talk about a time all the time where me and my girlfriend were in the store before, and the salesperson was pretty much like not doing her job. She was actually pushing my girlfriend away from getting the sale. And I ended up bringing my girlfriend pretty much through a sales process, and I got her to buy something from that store. I do that all the time.
So you sell your girl, and you show these salespeople at the store, like, yo, this
yeah, I'm like, yo, why don't you take my freaking sales training program? Because you guys
stuck.
Nah, but here's what happened, Daryll. What happened from here is I was still the only acquisition manager, and obviously I got super freaking busy,
right?
And I needed to bring somebody on the team to hit my KPIs. Not even my KPIs, but to hit the KPIs that were needed to get deals done. My KPIs are super different. This actually goes back to, I'm kind of going all over the place, but this goes back to what I said in the beginning. When you build your business off of what you would do, like wearing all the hats, and you try to teach people that, and you try to just like clone yourself, as you said in the beginning, it does not work. Because my KPIs are way different than my acquisition manager's KPIs. He might need to have 100 dials a day. He might need to talk to at least like 20 to 25 conversations a day and like 3 hours of talk time to land a deal a week. But if I did that, I'd probably get like 4 deals a week. So my KPIs are different. So when I have a team member come on and they're making the same amount of dials as I was making, and we're not getting any contracts that month,
that's exactly why.
Exactly, because it's not me. I shouldn't expect that, though. I shouldn't expect them to do that. So I had to go figure out, Daryll, what the real KPIs were for the average like acquisition manager. Right. Once I figured that out, I had a team member come on, and it took a while for them to get up to speed because of my own fault. So here's what happened, bro. I literally bring this guy on to close for me, and I shoot him in the foot. Here's what he would get an ounce of an opportunity. And I'd be like, nope, let me get it. Like, no, let me get that. And I would call the lead right away, and I would close it, and we'd make money, and we'd be like, yes, let's go. We're freaking crushing it, right? And then I got super busy. Because we're doing so many deals. I was helping out, getting our TC off getting her going, right? So I was busy dealing with that. I was busy dealing with social media stuff and doing these Zooms, getting on things like Wholesale, Hardknocks and stuff like that. I'm busy out doing all the things. And I kind of turned a blind eye to my acquisition manager, right? And I wasn't there every day to listen to a call and be like, oh, yeah, let me call that.
Yep.
Right? And then stuff started slowing down. So I literally had to do exactly what you just did. I had to go back and build out a whole entire sales. We already had a sales process at this point, but I had to build like a sales structure for the team.
Yep.
and KPIs and a system and process that they need to abide by every single day. KPIs, the process was like 100% in there. If you did not hit your KPIs and you weren't abiding by the sales process and everything like that, there's a reason why you're not getting deals.
Facts.
Right? Because what happened, bro, is I thought that it was my fault. Like I thought that that I was doing a bad job coaching or something like that. Right? No, my coaching's there. I have the right process. I'm doing good with my call calibrations and like helping them out with role plays and everything. I just wasn't setting the expectations of what the job actually really entails of the average acquisition manager. So things dried up. And I wasn't there to like look at every little opportunity to be like, yes, let me go take that.
Yep. You almost was a crutch. You were a crutch for him. And
100%.
they're expecting Mike to come in and save the day.
Mm-hmm. And Big Daddy Mike had to come in and save the day every day, but it was not a good thing. I was literally shooting myself in my own foot. So here's the coolest part, right? You kind of have two options as you're growing the sales team, right? You can either hire somebody to come in and train your people, right? Or you can train your people. But just know out of both of those two, they have to take that training and they have to go implement it and screw up.
Yep.
Okay. So let's think about this. If you hire somebody to train your people, it's going to get it done much quicker than just you doing it.
For sure.
Right? If you do it yourself, it's going to take a longer time, but it's not going to be as expensive. Okay. Then you're going to end up missing opportunities. So that's money that you can kind of think of not as losing, but you can think of it as an investment. Like, hey, me going out and letting somebody call my leads and, miss opportunities and stuff, you could look at it as lost money. I don't look at it as that. I look at it as an investment. So if you want to scale, my point is you have to invest. You have to be comfortable with investing into your team. Whether that's hiring somebody to do your sales training for you, doing it yourself, and then letting them screw up. Because think about it. Those are three things that are going to cost you money. Them screwing up is going to cost you money. You taking your time is going to cost you money because it's your time. You paying somebody to do it is going to obviously cost you money. So you have to be okay with investing into your team.
Without a doubt. It's funny because I have to stop myself a lot of times from jumping on the phones. Like when there's a problem going on, I'm so quick to just used to be so quick to just like jump out there and just be like, yo, let me get on that call. But now it's almost like, nah, like I gotta let it rock. Like this week, I told them they can assign some leads to me just because we're still at 2 closers right now. And so we only have 1 closer right now because one of them was on vacation. So I'm like, okay, it's time. I get to close the deal again. I get to close the deal. I get to come out of retirement. But I think the last time I closed the deal was in like November, December, where I actually like got on the phone with the seller and closed them. And that's because I forcefully stopped myself from jumping on the phones with people.
I'm still doing a bad job at it because I love it.
Yeah.
Not because I'm scared of missing the opportunities. I really don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah.
But because I freaking love talking to sellers, but I got to calm myself down because I will screw my salespeople up.
There's other things that other conversations that you could have though that still sales, right? Like lender conversations, still sales. You buying deals from wholesalers, still sales. Easiest sale ever, by the way.
Yeah, I know somebody's watching right now that you bought a deal from, and they just saw that face and they're like, "Damn!"
They're like, "I'm not sending this dude any more deals." Get your sales training up, y'all. That's all it is. We got some questions in the chat. Jonathan said, "What sales training do you guys recommend?" Shit, I recommend Ari. I recommend the Blueprint, baby.
You know what? I would too, bro. You're a smart man. You are a smart man. Yeah, actually, that kind of brings us into some church announcements. What do you got, Daryl? Actually, I'll go first since we're already on the topic. I have a sales training that is out. We have our first Blueprint Mastery sales training call tomorrow. Okay, it's gonna be from like 5:30 to probably about 7:30, 8:30 o'clock. Just going over our sales process, going like me calling people sellers that are in the sales training. Anything pretty much real estate related to any questions is a Q&A. So you can literally get in there. You get modules. It's about 27 modules all over our sales process. It's literally like anything and everything that I have in my brain for sales and what I use for my team is in that sales training. And then you get a Q&A every single week. And then you get a PDF on like the actual step-by-steps and the actual questions that you can ask in every single step of our sales process. It is freaking killer. And there's a smoking deal that I have on right now, especially for the Wholesale Hardknocks community, because bro, this is what, episode 47?
47, bro.
There's somebody watching right now that has probably been watching us since like day one. How interesting is that? Because think about it. Think about where we were a year ago, bro. Where we were a year ago. It's so funny. I watched the episode of Wholesale Hardknocks from back like when we first started. Literally, I was like, bro, this is going to be so cool how this evolves, seeing where both me and you are at, not only just in Wholesale Hardknocks, but in our lives and in our business here in the next like 6 to 12 months. I listened to that like a few weeks ago, and that was from an episode that was right in the beginning. And bro, me and Daryll, like, I think this time last year is when I was trying to hire somebody.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's super interesting. It's so interesting, but
crazy. It's crazy.
It is so crazy. But I say all that to say, for the people that are in the Wholesale Hardknocks community, I want to give you guys the shot to get in here quick to the sales training. It is $1,000, okay, for literally $7,000 worth of value. Dang. So, Daryll, this is what I'm doing, bro. The people that have been watching us for like the past year, those are our people. Like, those are the people that I want to pour into, that I want to build relationships with, that I want to be homies with the most. Those are the people that I want to connect with and do deals with and literally build long-term relationships with. So I want to give them the best shot to get into the community first. So it's literally only $1,000.
That's it, bro. Crazy.
The sales training is usually $2,000, but here's what happens. Down the line, we're rolling out a whole entire real estate mentorship, going over everything like business structure, creative finance, wholesaling, fixing, like the whole nine. That's coming out in like 2 months. If you get in and you're the first 20 now, you literally get that for free. You get grandfathered in. And that's going to be, put it this way, for $1,000, you get $7,000 worth of value. It's freaking insane.
Yeah, sign me up. Where's the link for that? Do you have a link for that?
I do. It's joinbprei.com.
joinbprei.com. Y'all heard it. I know I'm signing up. Y'all see me in there for sure. There you go. Got the link right there. But yeah, I totally recommend going to Mike's sales training, getting in there and investing in yourself. Investing in yourself for sure, because you're not going to get anywhere without investing in yourself.
I want to like scream that at the top of my lungs to somebody, because I literally went like the first 4 months without pouring any money into myself, just learning on YouTube. And YouTube's great, right? YouTube's awesome, especially a lot of the stuff that, Daryll puts out on his YouTube. It's like really, really good information. It's more than most people would, right?
For sure.
But you don't really get that, like that actual one-on-one coaching to somebody to tell you, like they told me, bro, just go freaking learn sales.
That direction, yeah.
Let me teach you sales. That's your problem. You need somebody to like really bring you down that path. And I didn't, bro. I was literally spending tens of thousands of dollars a month, Daryll, on marketing besides learning the actual thing. It blows my mind to think about that. That was like 3 years ago. Okay. Daryll might be having some Wi-Fi problems. So we got this question. Daryll will get onto his church announcements after this, but we have two of the same questions. What are you guys' thoughts on direct to agent? And then Cryptic says the same exact thing. What are you guys' thoughts on direct to agent? Here are my thoughts on direct to agent. At the moment, direct to agent is like killer, right? Like today, if you need a deal today and you want to get off the ground and you want to like really, really take some cash to get comfortable, I would say direct to agent. And I actually don't really like direct to agent too much, but I would say to get a deal the fastest, it's direct to agent right now because of the opportunity of all these price reductions, right? Like people's houses are just sitting on the market and they're stressing. Like there's so much opportunity on the market to get creative finance deals and cash deals because sellers are just stressed out because they've had properties on market for the past 90 days and they aren't selling. That is a real thing right now. So you have a truly good opportunity with direct to agent to like to get your foot in the door and get your first deal right now. Do I think it's a good long-term play? It's a good long-term business. It's a good scalable business. For me, I don't really like it. I like direct to seller because direct to seller is literally you put money into something every single month and you know you're going to get the certain amount of money back, right? Direct to agent is a lot of relationship building, right? So you don't really know. You're kind of like, you're waiting on people to bring you deals. It's just not my personality. I want to know. I want to have predictability. I want to be like, hey, if I put this amount of money in, I'm getting this amount of money out. So that's just my thoughts on direct to agent. The reason why that's one reason is because it's like, it's not as predictable as direct to seller is. That's why I picked direct to seller over direct to agent. But the second reason is for me, bro, I'm just like, I have like a driver personality, meaning like I just want to get to the point. So when I'm building my business, I want to build it to my personality. My personality does not really fit with having to talk to an agent and then have to go through that agent to talk to the seller, right? I just want to talk to the seller. I just want to bring them through a sales process, negotiate, boom, get the deal done, and bada bing, bada boom. And that's what, put it this way, what you love and what you treat your baby is what you're going to be able to pour time into so that you can scale your business, right? But if you need a deal right now and you're thinking about doing direct to seller later, screw it. Hammer some direct to agent, get a freaking deal under your belt, take that money and invest it in either yourself or systems and processes for a direct to seller business and do that. But for me, like I said, just my personality, direct to agent doesn't fit. And it's also, for me, it's not that predictable, right? Like for direct to seller, I say, hey, I'm spending $5,000 to $10,000 a month, no matter what, and I'm making 50 to 100K every single month. I know that. That's a more scalable, predictable business. Cryptic, I love it. Yeah, if you put your time and energy right now into direct to agent, I promise you, you will get deals. And the craziest part is you don't really even need to know like you don't need to understand creative real estate or cash deals. You don't really need to understand the numbers. All you got to do is just go find the opportunity. Somebody hit me up today. Wholesaler hit me up. He's like, Mike, I just found this really good opportunity on market. I just don't really know my numbers. Can you hop on a call with me for like 5 minutes and go over the numbers with me? I'm like, sure. We hop on a call. Told them, hey, this is where we need to be. Go submit an offer at 165. Let me know how it goes. Get them to counter offer, right? And then worst case scenario, if they say, our lowest is 185 and it doesn't work for a cash deal, then we'll do an ovation agreement. Bring me on the phone and we'll get it locked up. So you literally don't even need to understand real estate in general. All you got to do is you just got to go have conversations with agents and figure out what these sellers' pain is, like figure out the motivation of the seller, let the agent know that you're going to help them out, get their commission, and they'll be willing to get the deal done with you. And then you bring in somebody that knows what the heck they're doing. If you don't know what the heck they're doing, and then you get the deal done. Cool. Let me know if you guys have any more questions. We're waiting on Daryll to come back. Daryl's been having some Wi-Fi issues. Yes, bro. Let's get it done. 100%. Any opportunity that you have, feel free to give me a shout. Shoot me a DM at the Mike Gomes here on Instagram if you have any questions. And yeah, anything you need help with, any opportunities, for sure. I answer my DMs a lot, especially with like voice messages and stuff. That's usually the best way to get in contact with me is through my direct message on Instagram. And then, if it's something that you need to hop on a call with, then great, we can hop on a call at some point. Any other questions that y'all got? What we'll do, instead of going over the 5 different things, maybe we'll roll that over to the next episode. What we're going to do is the 5 different things that you guys can implement to scale a business, to scale a sales team. We just went over exactly what my business looked like in the beginning and then what it is now. Same thing with Daryl's. So we're going to take all this information and we're going to create the 5 different things that you guys can implement if you guys are just starting out, so that you can scale your wholesale business, your sales business. That's what I'm calling this thing, your sales business, because wholesaling, all it is sales. Okay. And in the meantime, if you guys have any more questions, feel free to shoot them in the comments. But Cryptic, yeah, dog, let's do some deals, bro. I'm not saying that I hate direct to agent. It's just like what I don't focus on. It's funny though, I did focus on it in the beginning, and it actually built a lot of skills for me. Is it possible to make money off a flip that's on the market? Heck yeah. I'm going to tell you guys a story really quick. So I have this deal that we're doing a fix and flip with, and here's how we got this deal. What's it called? The email gets sent to my email. It's from like realtor.com or something like that. And it's in my market. It's a property that's in my market that I know is a really good number. Okay. 260 is what they're asking. So they were asking $260,000. Okay. I know, just from knowing the area, it was right down the street from my office. I know an ARV for this particular property is 400. So this is me just really knowing my numbers. Like, you'll see this, especially if you're doing deals in your own market, you're going to start knowing your numbers like this. Like if you send me a lead, especially like right down the street from where I'm at, I can literally tell you if it's a deal or not in like a minute, just because I've been analyzing deals in this market for a few years now, and I really have a good pulse on it. So I see this come in my email. Ask is 260. I already know off the top of my head. I don't even have to run numbers. ARV is 400. So I'm like, dang, this could be an opportunity here. I'm going to need it lower than 260, I know, but I know there's an opportunity to maybe negotiate. So I call the realtor and I'm like, hey, I see this deal that you had just listed on the market. Tell me what's going on with it. She's like, yeah, we just listed it. We've been getting a decent amount of traction here. The sellers are asking for 260. They're moving to a different state and they just want to get out of it. It's going to have to be a cash deal because it needs some work. I'm like, all right, cool. When should I submit my offer? And she's like, well, you can submit it now. And I'm like, all right, great. I see these pictures here. Let me go run this by my team and see exactly what we can come up with, and I'll get you an offer. And she's like, you don't want to check out go to the physical property? I'm like, no, I do enough of these deals where I can just kind of tell from the pictures itself, where we have to be. So I'm like, okay, great. Our offer is 230. Okay. Submitted an offer at 230. She tells me, she's like, yeah, you're absolutely crazy. Like, there's no way the sellers will ever take that. I'll talk to you later. Literally just pretty much gives me the cold shoulder, doesn't follow up with me or anything like that. So I'm like, all right, whatever. I literally forget about it. Okay. I go back out. I'm doing, my regular business and talking to sellers and doing all the things. Right. Then 3 weeks later, she gives me a call and she's like, hey, Mike, we had spoke. You wanted to buy the property on 86 Mulberry Street. I'm like, yeah, what's going on with it? She's like, yeah, we've had a tough time. I think she said one of the buyers that they potentially were going to go into contract with ended up walking out, and she's just getting stressed. Okay. Before, when I told her this offer, I also let her know, I said, listen, we do a ton of deals in the area. I'd love to build a relationship with you, and I'm not represented, so I'd love to pay you the extra side of the commission too, so that you're getting both sides. And she's like, oh, yeah, okay, cool. So she remembered that the second time that she came back around. She's like, well, I'm going to be there tomorrow. I want to show it to a couple more people. Can you just come with me to the property and submit like your final official offer? So I'm like, okay, cool. I go there, and immediately, like an hour later, after I go to the property, I say, we're going to have to be at 205. Yesterday's price is not today's price, because I knew she was getting offers, right? If she has 260 right here, and it's been listed at 260 for the past like 3 weeks, I know that she's been getting offers somewhere around the 230 mark, right? Or else she would have called me back sooner. Okay. So I know there's wiggle room here. So I'm like, we're at 205. And that's really, honestly, after walking the property, it was a little bit more than I expected. That's where I wanted to be. So I gave an offer of 205, and she's like, this is on a Friday. Okay. She's like, Mike, I do not, that's not going to work. Heck no. That's never going to work. Here's the craziest part. I'm going to teach you guys a lesson right here. I'm like, this is right down the street from my office. And I start sounding a little bit more excited about the deal than she is. Right. I'm like, I'm right down the street from the office. I really want to get this deal done. My contractors need some work. I don't want to just kill the deal over a couple of grand. Where do we have to be? And she says, we got to be at 215. So I'm like, 215. I'm like, yeah, I really want to get this deal done. Like, I don't want to kill it over 10 grand. I don't know. And then I stopped myself, because I heard myself. I literally heard as you guys just heard me talking, you're like, why you sound like that, right? You sound a little bit too horny for the deal. So I had to pump the brakes, and I literally tell myself, I'm like, Mike, you do not need this deal. Okay? Put your freaking big boy pants on. You don't need this deal. So I end up telling her, I'm like, you know what? We literally just got 2 other properties under contract today. And my business partner, I just talked to him. He's like, I don't really care if we get this deal or not, right? This deal really doesn't mean anything to me. Even though it's right down the street from my office, it doesn't matter. We just got 2 more deals under contract today, okay? We're at 205, and we're not budging. So I came back into the call, and that's what I said to her. And she's like, yeah, that's not going to work. Remember, this is a Friday. She said, I'm going to just shop it out for the rest of the weekend. Hopefully we get an offer in hand. If we do, then great. My sellers will have the money that they want, and whatever, we'll maybe do a deal in the future. And I'm like, okay, great. She calls me literally 30 minutes later and says, Mike, my sellers want to do the deal at 205. And I'm like, okay, cool. I could have probably got the deal done at 215. Like, we're going to make probably like 50 grand or something on the flip. There was room here. Like, I probably could have maybe done the 215, but literally just me not being horny for the deal, I ended up making an extra $10,000 in 30 minutes. That is crazy. So rule number 1 of sales, never be more hungry for the deal than the other person. You do not need a deal. You are here to help out. Okay. Guys, this is another episode of Wholesale Hard Knocks. We're going to catch y'all again next week, every single Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. We don't really know what time in Arizona, because they got some weird times going on over there. You know what I'm saying? But we appreciate y'all watching. We're going to catch y'all on the next one. Peace out.